All right, what is up, guys? Zack Scriven here. Welcome and thank you for tuning into my channel. And today I have a special guest, Brandon from BrandonCoin. He was nice enough to connect with me. I've been watching a lot of his content, and he does a lot of mining tutorials and different things like that. So I'm like, I wanted to reach out to him because I did a little bit of mining and connected with him. So I have him today, and we are doing my first episode of my podcast, and later we're going to film a podcast for his channel too, so make sure you guys check that out in the links down below. But yeah, Brandon, welcome. Thank you for tuning into or thank you for being a part of the channel, dude. I know we're all busy, so
Oh yeah, thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
let me know a little bit more about yourself, for someone who's new to your content and your channel. So like, where do you live?
I'm on the East Coast, right in North Carolina, if anybody's familiar with the U.S. But basically, my channel started out and stemmed off of the need that I was looking for. When I first started mining, I wanted to find out a lot of information on particular cards and what they're actually making at a particular time. Because in the crypto space, I'm sure you know, and anybody that does it, nothing stays the same. It can be, you know, 10, 20, 30% different from day to day. So that's why, when I'm comparing, I like numbers. Numbers don't lie. So I was comparing, like, what this graphics card's going to make one day, is that still making that? And when you're trying to compare something that somebody uploaded a month ago, it's normally nowhere even close to what it's actually going to pay out. So I was like, well, there's this kind of this void, and if I could get away with doing a daily video, it may actually do well, and it's skyrocketed as I was talking about earlier.
Have you crossed
Took right off.
5,000 subscribers yet?
I think it's at like 4,900, so it's
Wow.
probably gonna cross 5,000 in the next day or two.
And you just started the channel back late October, I think.
Yeah, late October, right? Because I think I built my first rig at the end of October. It was October 27th, so
And
what, maybe three
and
months
that's
now.
funny because I started mining right around that same time, like late October, early November. Um, and so I was actually on another podcast for the Airbnb channel, and I had mentioned we kind of started talking about crypto mining, back before Bitcoin went boom and then bust. So we're filming this on February 11th, and crypto's been kind of down lately. So why don't you talk a little bit about how that's affected, you know, your mining
Yeah.
operations?
Oh, definitely, and it's definitely scared off a lot of people. In the first couple of months, I had a lot of people actually, convinced. And the thing is, I don't try to sell anybody on anything. I just put the information out there, and I showed that I'm literally, this is what I have, and this is what it's doing. But for example, now there's like some graphics cards that I'm running are making half of what they were making just a month and a half
Mhm.
ago when Bitcoin was doing really well. So a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's unprofitable now." They're pulling out, or they're, so to speak, kind of mad at me, but because they jumped in and invested into building a system. But I've made a couple of videos in response to that and broke it down, and it's still actually very profitable.
Mhm.
It's just not crazy profitable. Kind of like the market right now. Bitcoin at $8,000 is, like, to me, when I got in, Bitcoin was only a couple thousand when I first bought at the beginning of last year. So 8,000 still seems very high. Um, but a lot of people that bought in and got in the hype in like late last year when it was like 18,000 or 20,000, they think like it's the end of the world right now. It's got to sell, it's gonna bust, and it's all a bubble. But like I tell a lot of people, if any of these are gonna actually make it, they have to have the miners behind the technology. So I think mining is definitely the safest portion of crypto, because they're like, oh, do you day trade or this, that, and the other? And I really kind of stay out of that section. I mean, there's a lot of money to be made or lost on the investment and trading side of it.
Wow, this is some pretty good content. And I'm thinking this is like really probably good content for your channel too. We're talking just about crypto. I do kind of want to take a step back and while it's really easy to get sucked into the crypto hole, I just, obviously that's something that we got to talk about. That's how we connected. Um, but what's really what's really been interesting to me is that I've kind of found myself very similar to you. I heard you mention the other day that you dropped out of college after 2 years. I dropped out of college after 2 years. You're working, you're mining, um, so talk a little bit about like maybe your other YouTube channels or what it is you like about YouTube and where your goals are for this channel.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I did. I got graduated high school. I did the typical thing where I go straight into college, and I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. So I took some classes for like small engine repair and electrical because I was really motivated towards auto mechanics and motorcycles. More importantly, that's kind of where my first real YouTube channel that had any bit of mild success, which I'm still actually running up until this point. It's Motor Nubs. It's a car channel. But back to the college thing, I went for about 2 years. I finished some classes. I didn't really actually, you know, make it through any kind of program. Made about halfway through a basic auto program, but I dropped out because I got a good opportunity at a construction company to go work full time, and the position, the money I'd be making was more than what I was expected to make as like an entry level auto technician.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, at the time I was like, I'd be stupid to pass this up. And I've actually been there ever since now. So that was 2012. I'm about 5.5, 6 years into the company that I've been working with, and they've taken very good care of me. And it's let me actually pursue my passion of cars and auto mechanics on the side. And that's how my other YouTube channel stemmed off of me basically being comfortable because I'm making extra money. I can throw it into my hobbies or my toys, so to speak. And that channel just stemmed off of basically like just pure fun. I'm already doing this stuff, so why not record it and share it with the world?
Yeah.
If people like it, then great. If people don't, whatever, I'll still record it and upload it. So I've had a lot slower, more organic growth on that channel. It's been going on for 2 years now, and it just surpassed 4,000 subscribers.
Oh, well, so they're about equal now.
Yeah, they are about equal, but even though the subscribers are equal, I get about 3 times the amount of views on my crypto channel.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, that's kind of how my whole like workspace to YouTube connection has gone down, and it's basically just been a steady grind up until this point. So work during the week, occasional work Saturdays for overtime, and then anytime I'm off, I'm either working on a car, working on some mining rigs, and then just recording everything I can possible. Basically, like my girlfriend jokes, she's like, "You monetize your whole life," and it's like, yes, I do, but also I don't, because if once you start creating content, it's a snowball, and the snowball starts rolling, and then you realize, I have valuable content that I can record here and then there, and before you know it,
Yeah.
you're recording everything. And I find myself recording stuff that I don't end up even using, but maybe holding on to for a later date.
Yeah.
So I know when you started doing stuff with your daughter, and I actually watched your last video, and if I had like a son or a daughter, and like thinking like years down the line, I would absolutely love to show them and have them see like special moments that when we were younger, because I'm 26. I don't know how old you are, but
Yeah,
I would
I'm
imagine.
25.
Okay,
I
so
thought we were roughly the same age. You're probably class of 2010 though for high school.
correct, yeah, 2010 is when I graduated. But when we were growing up and really young, there wasn't an avenue for like just this open exchange of content. So it's definitely opened up a huge, huge audience and spectrum. And basically, people can, if you put out good content, it can get well known and out there. It's weird to say it like that, but um, it's
No,
everybody has
it's not weird at
their own
all.
option.
It's not
Yeah.
weird at all. One of the things that you said, I think I was in one of your live streams, and you actually, mentioned me, and you're like, oh, check out his channel. He produces interesting content, and that kind of like motivated me. Even if it's just one person, or because I made a video asking you a question about should I sell this GTX 1060, and so in hindsight, like that was probably good that it ended up being fake, because then it was like pretty much right at the peak of the bubble. of crypto, so that was probably a bad time to invest. But you know, I didn't really know. And I actually looked to you for sources of information. So that just proves the value of your channel right there. Is that, you know, I was first thing I thought of was like, well, let me ask BrandonCoin and see if he would buy, you know, this graphics card. You know, I'm only mining with 2 graphics cards right now. How many rigs do you have?
Currently, there's this is 6 GTX 1060s in that rig. This one has 3 1050 Ti's, a 750, and a 1030, and those are just, that's, you know, 1 rig, 2 rig. And upstairs currently right now, I have a 1050 rig with 5 of them, and then another one that's only running a 560. So essentially, like, only like 3 rigs, because one of them's only running 1 card. And then I also occasionally mine in this one right here, which is my desktop computer. It's got a 1060 6 gig in it also, but normally I try to keep that one just running for my actual content. So technically 3 rigs is what I would say right now.
Okay. So and you're actively expanding, you're investing your fiat payout into more mining hardware?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I was actually stockpiling a little bit for almost a straight month now, because I was waiting on some higher tier cards, some 1080s, if anybody's familiar with those GTX. And I actually just scooped 2 of them over the weekend. So
you got 2 1080s?
Yes, there's 2 1080s on the way.
Holy shit.
I'm really excited for just, you know, not only to make more money, but also for more data points to be able to reference for people on my channel.
Yeah.
And my first goal for, like, you know, growth in my mining rigs is to get essentially 1 of every common graphics card being used, because if I can give people more information on everything, I could get more people in and watching it, essentially. And then from there, just keep on growing. I haven't actually, all the money I've put into crypto, I have not pulled any of it back out to my bank account.
I was going to ask you what you did with your earnings, but I guess you just answered it right there.
Yeah, I just throw it right back into more hardware.
Nice.
It's hard to do because, like, you know, I got the 1080s for $649 a piece, and I'd love to. Trust me, I'd love to take that. And
so you have a decent amount of money in crypto, because I imagine on some of those rigs you have already hit your ROI.
Correct. Yeah. I've technically hit ROI on my 1060s, because, believe it or not, I bought those before the boom. So I got the 1066 gigabytes for $229 a piece, which, if you, I mean, you know, that's very cheap now. You can't even get close to that. So they've already ROI'd, and they're still, you know, chugging right along. The 1050s, I wouldn't say that they've ROI'd yet, because
you just recently bought those.
Yeah, those are more recent, and also Bitcoin's been down, so the payouts have been down on those.
But in terms of Bitcoin, you said it's still roughly the same, but just the US dollar value is down.
Correct. Yeah, that's another thing. A lot of people get hung up on the actual US dollar amount. I'm still mining almost the same amount. You know, I'm consider it in the 0.0020 range. If I'm 1 or 2 below or above that area, then I'm doing okay. I know it's actually, something's right. When it's off of that, that's usually when I go check and see if any of my system have gone offline. But the US dollar amount, I believe it's here to stay. I don't think it's going anywhere.
Oh yeah.
So if people wanted to actually hold on to it, it will be worth more money. The only thing is, I'm fighting with, do I actually use it now to buy more hardware, or do I hold on to it to gain more value? So I'm trying to split it. You know, I hold some of it and then spend some of the other.
Right on. That's cool. So you talked a little bit about your goals for, like, getting these additional graphics cards. That's one thing that I really do like, is that you don't talk about, well, you're not afraid to tell someone, like, I don't have this specific card, so I'm not going to, you know, say exactly what it hashes. Like, you're very concrete about what you are able to test and what you know, can't speak of. You know, obviously everyone can go to NiceHash and see how much it is expected to earn, but until you actually see it for yourself, or even the brand of card. So I see that in your future. Some of the things that I think that would help is, I asked you the other day if you had a Twitter or Instagram. You said you didn't, and I think that would be a good source, you know, if you wanted to like build BrandonCoin. You know, like maybe into something bigger than what it is now. What are your thoughts on that?
I was definitely looking at a Twitter for essentially giving some kind of like quick, fast, dirty updates that may not warrant an actual video going to YouTube. And I think a lot of people actually use Twitter now. See, you know, just like me, or well, just like you, I've kind of I grew up before Twitter. So
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to see its purpose when you didn't like.
Well,
If you didn't use it, then you don't. I mean, that's one thing. Is before I got into crypto, I really rarely ever used Twitter because I didn't follow anybody.
yeah.
So
See, when I was trying to reach out to you, or like when I did that video to you, I was looking on to Twitter to see if I could tweet that to you, kind of like as a informal way of communicating. And then on Instagram, I think what would be cool is some of the channels have like, so all the pictures, they kind of fall down into like 3 columns. So if you put like every third picture is like a chart or something, or like maybe a graph of like hashing payouts. And then like, so if you're looking at all the historical content, it's like chart, and then maybe in the middle it's like a quote or something. So it's just another visual way to, you know, like expand your brand and to post information, you know, like think of a picture. It's a very good way to convey a lot of information, like via a way of a chart or some numbers. And then maybe a third picture is like something else, like you know, a picture of your rig or a picture of, you know, whatever.
yeah,
I think that would be really, really good. And obviously, you know, there's, you know, a cost and time associated with that. Like, I know you have a full-time job, I have a full-time job, so like, you know, it's hard to do, but I think that would be good.
yeah, and that probably could be rolled into, especially taking a lot of pictures of the builds, because a lot of people go into, you know, they buy these huge frames and they spend a lot of money, and I try to stay like as minimalistic as possible. And everybody asks me like, what are the dimensions on your setup? And that's something I haven't got into on that side of the actual mining. But I think a lot of that could be conveyed through an Instagram. And I've used Instagram before with my car stuff. So I'm pretty familiar with it.
Yeah.
I just didn't know exactly how to get the content there in a good, easy way. At least not yet.
So one way that Gary Vaynerchuk talked about in that book that I read for 8 hours straight is the dollar. Well, no, I don't know if he really talked about this, but he talked about the importance of Instagram. But he has what's called the $1.80 method on Instagram, and you don't actually pay anything; it's free. But what it is you go to the top 10 hashtags in your community, and each one of those top 10 hashtags will show the top 9 posts. So, and you go to each one of those posts and you enter in a valuable comment, like you engage with that person, you ask them a question, answer something. So you give your 2 cents to each one of those 9 posts. So that's 18 cents times 10, you know, categories. That's $1.80.
Oh, okay.
So, but by doing that, you know, maybe the first time someone sees a comment on, you know, these people may have like 1 million followers or something, like Crypto Bobby or something, let's say. And then someone sees BrandonCoin, and then maybe another day they see BrandonCoin again. You know, you do this every day. You know, maybe it takes you 20 minutes or something, but then you start gaining more followers. From Instagram, you gain more YouTube followers. From YouTube, you know, you put in a little plug for your Instagram. And then, you know, just kind of like you said, you build that snowball effect. And, you know, obviously I'm not as experienced as you are, because you are already, you know, achieved a higher level of success. But I don't know. I don't think success has to be like, you know, like either you have it or you don't. It's like you're always achieving it, you know. So that's just why I wanted to connect to you, and, you know, maybe encourage you to grow your brand, because you've been helped encourage me to grow my, you know, channel and stuff. So that's why I wanted to talk to you and, you know, befriend you. And, you know, that's, you know, like how I was building my community. I was like, hey, let me engage with some of the fellow community members. So.
Yeah, definitely. And success is not just a number by any means. You know, there's YouTube channels that have hundreds of thousands of subscribers that only put down, you know, a couple thousand views a video just because they've gone to, you know, craft content. It's all about, you have to weigh the balance of content and also quality, or, you know, quantity and quality.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing have been struggling with lately because the channel in the beginning just started out as very informal, and now it's kind of taken like a lot more concrete, and people just when people want to know something, they are very forward about it. So they're like, "What about this? What about that?"
Yeah.
And I hate to give people, like you said, I don't want to give anybody any wrong information. I want to give them what I'm actually getting.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of segues into what I'm doing next. Is I'm actually renting an office space and I'm moving all my mining stuff into there. And a lot of people have told me I'm messing up and I'm too small for that. But it's gonna get hot soon.
Oh no,
And these
definitely.
things kick out.
And
Yeah,
especially
they
if
kick
you
out a
factor
lot of
in
heat.
the personal brand that you're building and the YouTube channel,
That too.
I mean, I could see that, going extremely successful beyond your wireless imaginations, and like potentially taking over your day job too. Like, or
Yeah.
So if that's what you want, I encourage you to go after it, man. That's super cool. I'm definitely gonna be following you along and watching you on this journey of going into business and mining and basically just chasing what your goals are.
Yeah, and my idea is to actually set it up inside there and stream or actually record from there with all my systems because right now I'm just in my house and it seems like it's never turns off like I'm working all the time.
Oh
Like,
yeah, so you wanna
yeah, so
that
I
would be
want a
valuable.
space that, yeah, I come to, I knock it all out, I record it, I get my content, I can set up a workstation so I can actually have everything, measured out, done correctly, done right, and then I'll be able to get the content out in the way I want to, so I can have rig builds like pictured and videoed, and
Dude, that would be so
um,
sweet.
yeah, and I've somebody had actually contacted me and was talking about why don't you set up like a quick or a website to
Oh,
convey all that
a
information.
website would be really good for you.
Yeah, like on each one of your rigs you could show all the parts that you're actually using, and then he's like, then you could put your Amazon affiliate links for each and every one of your parts, so you get a little bit of a kickback because people get the
Yeah.
information of what you're running, and then they can see on your videos how it's actually running, and if they like it, they can buy it. If they don't, nobody's bending anybody's arm backwards. So it's making the spider web bigger, so to
Yeah.
speak.
No, I think that's something that would be really good as a kind of like a homepage, like a landing page, and then from there it's like you could direct into your Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, your builds and all that stuff. So when you think you'll have all this, you have a certain time frame in mind to get the website up and going, or
I've started working on the website a little bit. Nothing's public yet, but I actually did go ahead and buy the domain, and I really love the domain I got. Of course, BrandonCoin.com was bought and taken, and no joke, if you go to it, like BrandonCoin.com, it's got a little thing in the middle that says like buy this domain, and it's a
uh,
ridiculous amount of money. Actually, does it show up on your side right now?
it just it says we'll accept cash or coin, Bitcoin, Ethereum.
Yeah, yes. So I don't know
So
if somebody literally
this person
bought
looked
that.
like they're trying to snipe you.
They got it. They sniped me, but I did end up buying um, BrandonCo.in.
Oh, that's fucking sweet. You got a short
Yeah,
domain. That's sweet.
yeah. So I really, yeah. If you go there, I think I have like some rough stuff actually published. Nothing set in stone. There's a lot of stuff that hasn't even been put up live yet. Um, but I just wanted to actually secure that name before that one got, so to speak, sniped too, because
Yeah.
um,
Using
the
webs.
BrandonCoin.com was, yeah, just webs. I'm actually going to switch away from there.
I
Somebody showed me another web service that's
I
actually a
I
lot
like
better.
Squarespace.
Squarespace, I don't know if that's the one or not. I haven't had a lot of experience to ever doing websites. That may be something I need to talk to you about off camera.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I've been actually wanting to set up. I had a previous company, like kind of my day job type career that I had a company website and I use Squarespace. It's pretty easy. It is a little expensive. It's like $12 a month, but it's super easy. You can integrate it to all your other social platforms and stuff. So, um, but I'm sure anything will work. It's better to have something than nothing. How you get there is kind of not important.
Yeah, exactly. So, between a website, a Twitter, Instagram, and having a solid YouTube, of course, because I'm trying to build my core off of YouTube, because that's the platform that I enjoy the most. I am not just a pusher of content, but I'm also a heavy consumer. I
Yeah.
don't watch very much cable TV or satellite TV at all. Actually, I have tons of friends and also channels that I've subscribed to that I don't even know. That's kind of the coolest part about it. You gain this connection with these people that you're never gonna probably meet, but you feel like they're a genuine friend.
Yeah.
You get a really good understanding of people because you get to see everything. Whereas TV, everything is so scripted nowadays.
Yeah.
There's no real on TV anymore.
Yeah, I don't have any TV. I just mostly watch YouTube.
Yeah,
Probably more than
YouTube.
I should, but you know.
Yeah, yeah. If only you could get paid to watch YouTube.
I know,
So
right? Well, it's like in life, you gotta either be creating something or consuming something. You're either you're buying something or you're selling something. So if you're just always buying, always consuming, you're never gonna build a business. You're never gonna sell something. So
yeah,
sometimes you
I
just gotta turn off YouTube and just focus on producing content, and
oh
it's
yeah,
rewarding in the end.
definitely. And I had a friend that he does this. He was one of the ones that talked me into getting into mining, and he does this part time. But he actually was trying to pull me into it. I don't know how I feel about it currently, but he essentially buys a lot of the Chinese mining hardware, like risers and stuff like that. But there's no reputable brand names out there. There is and there isn't. But it's like common like knowledge that you're going to buy a pack of risers and one of them is going to be bad. And he's like, I try to eliminate that by he has his own little website that's basically like a piggyback on. He buys them in bulk, then he tests them, verifies them, and then sells them guaranteed 100% working.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, and he builds a little bit of profit into that. And a lot of people aren't afraid to actually pay more, but he wanted to pull me into that and get some bigger bulk orders and me to, help and push the merchandise through my channel.
Oh,
I
nice.
don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it because I'm one thing on my car channel. I've always said, I'm not a sellout. I don't want to sell out. I'm not gonna actually push anything I don't use.
Hmm.
So I'm like, the first thing I need to do is actually get the hardware from you and try it out.
Yeah.
I do have a couple from him, but I feel like I really need to build a full system with just his hardware, and then maybe bring him onto my channel and introduce him. And that could be, I guess that could probably be another podcast that I could do with him, and would actually work out really well and show off because he's started to work into other things other than just risers now too. So I think that could probably benefit everybody, and that's the key.
Yeah, no, I mean, if that's a good service, you believe in it yourself, and he's finding reputable brands, testing them, and reselling them, then and you're introducing the buyer to the seller, then that's a valuable payout. Like the e-commerce, the way that we do business, like you said, is not the way that it was when we grew up, and so it's just trying to wrap your head around that. And I don't think it's a sellout. Like I see maybe one day like you interviewing John McAfee or something about Bitcoin mining and stuff. So I'm dead serious, dude. Like I had that vision. I'm like, man, Brandon, it could be pretty trusted source on mining if he follows through and just keeps on with that vision. Like you could do
Yeah,
anything you want to. Like a month ago I was like, damn, it'd be cool to like chat to Brandon, and now here we are chatting. Um,
that's all it takes. You gotta cast out, and who knows what you actually catch. So, do you plan? I actually have a couple questions for you.
you
I
want
guess
to
do you
segue into
save that
the
for later?
let's
Um,
let's segue into the podcast for your channel. I think
yeah.
this is a good
Okay.
time. We're about 30 minutes in, so um, I've been going live for this whole time, so I'll probably just keep going live, and like roll your intro.
Yeah,
So
I'll start recording the
the
next
way I
one.
have it on OBS is I'm recording I have dual monitors, so I have everything on one side, but then on the right side I have just the Google Hangouts full screen where I'm streaming, the screen I'm recording, and then I could just flip back and forth between full screen of you or full screen of me. So what I did was like I did a full screen of me to like do the intro, and then I clicked to you to talk, and then I went back to me to ask a question, then I went back to you.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't know if
actually,
you could.
I didn't know you could actually do that on Google Hangouts, but I see it now.
Yeah, because I don't know, it'd be kind of weird. Like, it's your channel. People probably want to see you. So,
Yeah.
but if if you ask me something and you want to flip over to me or whatever, I mean, like I
Yeah,
said, it'd be
no.
nice if we were just like 50-50 on the screen, but I don't think Hangouts can do that. I know Zoom can, but that costs money.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude,
Zoom
so
can.
has your personal brand income surpassed your mining income?
Um, as for like through AdSense or any kind
Yeah,
of
like
monetization
everything,
like
all the
that.
above combined. Is it becoming
Um,
noticeable yet, or is that too personal to
um,
ask?
no, that's not too personal to ask at all. The actually the only thing that I'm making money through on my BrandonCoin, brand so to speak, or is my Amazon affiliates because I'm still not monetized on YouTube.
Oh, that's
Um,
right, the
yeah,
demonetization. I actually made money on my YouTube channel. I made a $44 payout. I know they weren't supposed to pay out till 100, and I know I'm kind of digressing here, but
yeah, no,
it's
that's
kind
no
of
problem.
relevant.
That's fine.
But I switched my YouTube accounts, and like I moved it from an old email to a brand account and then transferred it. So in that process, my AdSense got deleted. So they just paid me out what was accrued. And it's the coolest thing ever to just see a $44 payout in my account and like, oh shit, where'd that come from? And
Right, so yeah, it's like free money, but
yeah,
nothing's free, of
and
course.
then
Um,
the demonetization now it's like down to zero. Like in December I made like $30, and I don't know, I have videos all over the place. I have a couple programming videos that have like 50,000 views. I started my first YouTube channel like back in 2007, just doing like parodies of like Guitar Hero and different spoofs and stuff. Just
that's
kind of
the good
yeah,
old days when you just record and upload and nobody expects to make any money. It's just
yeah.
for pure entertainment. That's the pure days.
Yeah, like the
Um,
the biggest video on YouTube was like the interpretation of dance that had like 100 million views, and that was like insane. And now that could like happen in a weekend or something. But
yeah,
anyways,
yeah.
it's not about the money, but the money is kind of cool to see that. So I do hope that works out well. My AdSense, like, my Amazon affiliate account actually got canceled on me, so that was kind of discouraging. But
What did
whatever, I'm
they
just
give
gonna.
you an update of why it got canceled?
They said that my channel did not have enough like content or following to basically monetize through their affiliates. So, which is fair. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't have a great track record. I've been doing a lot more in the past month, but you know, it just kind of funny that it was right around the same day that YouTube also demonetized. So it's almost like they're kind of demonetizing in general, but why I'm not going to let that be an excuse to stop me.
oh, of course not. Yeah, well, I mean, I applied for Amazon affiliates after I'd, getting a steady like 1,000 to 2,000 views a day, and ever since then, the Amazon affiliate service, I haven't got a payout from them yet because they pay out, I think it's on a 60-day after the end of the month cycle.
Uh,
Um, but I was trying to figure out if it is any term of search or terms of service breach to show off the back end side that I get to see. I've sent them some emails about it. They've contacted me back asking why I want to show that, and I told them a lot about my channel is like, full
Transparency, yeah.
disclosure, full transparency. So I'm waiting to hear back from them on that. I'd really like to show it off, um, because it doesn't by any means it doesn't make a lot of money. You know, on average, it's a dynamic, so anywhere from 0.5% to sometimes up to 1.5% on an
Hmm.
item through a click.
Yeah.
But it adds up when people
Yeah,
buy a lot.
I posted links. I went back to older videos. Like I did a video on a telescope my girlfriend bought me for Christmas, and that video has like 10,000 views now. So I'm like, oh well, if someone wanted to buy this, like let me just put the link in there. I helped them figure out if they want to buy this telescope, they help me by, you know, and I get a low commission. And I got like a couple sales, like $10 or something in like a month. But I don't know. It's cool to have like it working in the background. But eventually I'll get to that. So
Hmm.
without any
Wait, I guess
further ado,
I can start over. Yeah, I can start I got my OBS running now. Finally.
okay. Do you want to do a test run? I mean, I guess at the end of the day, I can always like cut the content and edit to you, but it'll sound, if you record it on your end, your voice will sound better because it's, you know, local, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying. I see my desktop audio. I'm trying to get it to match right now. I'm just turning it down in the mixer. Can you just give me like a test 1, 2?
Testing 1, 2, 3. This is Zack Scriven. Testing audio levels.
Okay. Yep. I have it almost matching. If it doesn't end up working right, then I have a friend that does a lot of audio stuff. He's a sound designer, so I may be able to send it to him and him actually help me out. But
Okay.
all right, what is up, guys? This is Brandon back with BrandonCoin, and if you notice, this video is going to be a little bit different. This is something Zach was actually trying to talk me into. This is Zack Scriven, and this is episode 1 of hopefully more podcasts to come. So I'll switch the screen over to Zach now. And
what's up, guys?
Zach, yeah, we'll just lead into what you actually do on YouTube and what made you find my channel.
Hey, Brandon, thanks for having me on your channel. I'm super stoked. So my channel's all over the place. It's a little bit of everything that is interesting to me. So like I do some computer programming, which is kind of like my day job. I do some like vlogs, like with me and my daughter. Got really interested in cryptocurrency, like everyone did back in like November, December last year. I had owned cryptocurrency like back in the day, but I kind of lost interest. Like 2014, I bought 2 Bitcoins, but then I sold them because like it was going downhill, you know, and I'm like, man, everyone lost interest in it, so I just didn't stick with it. So yeah, I mean, I've been posting videos, you know, since like 2007 across different channels, but really trying to focus now on building a brand, you know, albeit diverse, like with Airbnb and crypto and pretty much everything. So, but today we're here to talk about cryptocurrency because that's how we got connected. I started mining and I found your channel very informative and useful, and a source of information. I went to you with a couple questions, you answered them, and you know, it's always cool to get feedback from the man himself. So
yeah, well, thank you, and I want to lead right into the nitty gritty. What are you actually mining with and on, and how long have you been running them?
okay, so right now I'm not mining at all because my computer is my main setup is my streaming computer. So I turn mining off while I'm streaming. I'm actually streaming this on my channel right now. We had a full segment where Brandon and I just kind of chatted about his YouTube channel and kind of had a podcast for my channel. So make sure you guys check that out. But my mining rig is a GTX 970, which is what I started mining with back in like early November. And then within a week, I'm like, man, this is making pretty good money. Let me buy a GTX 1070. And so I slapped both those in my rig. And yeah, I mean, back in the heyday, after NiceHash hack, like at the time of the NiceHash hack, I had accrued almost enough to get my first payout. I started out going to an external wallet, and I was at like 0.009 Bitcoin. So which at that time was, you know, over $100, like $150, and it got hacked. And then so I wasn't mining for like 2 weeks. I was like, man, should I mine to a specific pool, or you know, I'm like, let me just wait. Eventually NiceHash came back, and then by that time the payouts were like really high. Like it almost seemed like it kind of built up, and I think it was like $9 a day my 2 cards were earning. Is crazy. So yeah.
Everybody, the payouts there for I'd say pretty much all of December when NiceHash eventually came back, the payouts were like crazy. And in between, I know on my channel, you know, I tried mining BrandonCoin and then mining with WindMiner, and I tried a little bit of everything. and still nothing quite came close to NiceHash. So when they came back, I know I was relieved just because of the ease of use and profitability. NiceHash was killing it, knocking it out of the park. But I did want you to talk about you bought a graphics card and it ended up being the wrong graphics card. So if you could
Yeah.
tell us about that.
Okay, so I was scouring the web for graphics cards, and I created a spreadsheet using the NiceHash stats. Basically, how much each card was expected to earn, and I input the cheapest price I could find those cards on Amazon to find what was the best card in terms of profitability per price. And because there was like GTX 1080s for like 900, 1000, 1070s for like 800. So everything was kind of all wonky and it wasn't really clear. So I input all the data, and it came down that this 1060 for 400, like 350, $400 was like 114-day payback period at current profitability levels at that time. So I'm like, hey, that doesn't sound that bad. Let me just I rewired some crypto, sold it on the marketplace, and wired it over to my bank account, bought it on Amazon. It got to my house. It sat for a few days because I wanted to do a video. And then by the time I did the video, like I installed it and I pulled up NiceHash, and it's like GTX 1050. Like I didn't even notice a difference on my payout. I'm like, well, that's kind of weird. And I looked in the details, and sure enough, it said 1050. And when I pulled it out, I'm like, I should have known, because it just looked really cheap and small. Like the difference between a 1050 and a 1060 is like a 1050 is like a not even a gaming card. Like it's just
It's substantial. Yeah, it's noticeable. If you've never seen both of them side by side, I wonder how many people that person or the third party seller had actually scammed or got over on, because I imagine there's tons of people who bought those planning on just maybe gaming with them, and they're gaming away, not even realizing it.
Yeah.
When you install the drivers, I don't think it actually tells you.
No.
It doesn't tell you.
It's one, the generic driver for all the NVIDIA cards. But, to the seller's benefit of their doubt, it could have been someone who bought a 1050 and 1060 and swapped the boxes and sent it back. So, but they still should have checked. But I was able to get that sent back, and I'm glad I did, because in hindsight, let's say I did get a 1060 and I kept it, at today's rates, it'd be a long time before that $400 card is paid back. So,
yeah.
But granted, I did sell that crypto at somewhat of the peak as well too. So, I mean, this was mid-January, so it wasn't at the peak, but it was lower or higher than it has been in the past. So, and the way that it worked out when I refunded it, it's actually still the money never made its way back into crypto, but I have since bought a little bit more in the dip. I really like Ethereum. I think it's pretty functional. Like, if we want to just talk about crypto in general, I think Bitcoin is going to maintain the where you keep your store of value. It's not going to be a cryptocurrency per se where you're trading it every day. It's mostly going to be like your savings account, like where a majority of your wealth is, and then you can change a little bit of that into like other coins. Maybe a coin specific to a specific industry, or like other coins that are more generic, like Litecoin, that could just be used anywhere.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Do you personally hold a lot of different coins, or are you sticking to like the top three?
So yeah, I own the top three. I don't own any Bitcoin Cash. I'm not a huge believer in that fork. But I do own a couple of the altcoins. But as in terms of percentage, it's like 25% of my overall holdings. Mostly it's the big three: Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin are my holdings. The altcoins I own are on Binance. I don't know. I had a little bit of FOMO, fear of missing out. I didn't want like one of these other coins to just take off and not have at least some chance. Obviously there's 600 coins, and one of them could probably go bananas and I'll miss out. But if you don't have a line in the water, you're not going to catch any fish. So.
Oh yeah, exactly. And I think FOMO, or the fear of missing out, like you're talking about, a lot of people fall for that, and I even fell for that, and I bought into like some Ripple and Verge and Cardano. I bought into like everything everybody is talking about, and it's just sitting because I am not pulling it out. until it's in the profit.
Hold on for dear life.
Oh yeah, I mean it's there. Like I would on right now. I hate to say it, but I would rather it go down
To zero.
Yeah, I'd rather it go down to zero than pull out
Yeah.
because you never lost money until you sold.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not selling until I'm in the profit.
Like a perfect example is when I sold those 2 Bitcoins in 2014 when it went down. And I might have thought I did a good thing because for the next 6 months I sold it I bought it like 600 and I sold it like 400 like 3 months later. It went down all the way to like 200, 250, and it wasn't until like late 2015, 2016 before it started coming back. So, but I think as an investment strategy, what would have been smart is just to invest a small amount that I could have afforded to lose into Bitcoin every month, even if that was like $20. That $20 times like 12 months of when it was down, that alone would have been a Bitcoin when it was at 240, right? So
yeah, that was what I had originally started out in crypto doing, because of course I was one of the Coinbase babies, as somebody talks about other channels. I'm not dropping any names, but they're like, Coinbase is so bad and toxic for crypto, but I actually think Coinbase opens an avenue for a lot of casual people that would never get into crypto.
yeah.
So I got into it through Coinbase, and I set a buy, and I was doing a weekly buy.
Okay.
$10 of each, $10 of Bitcoin,
Oh, nice.
Ethereum, and Litecoin. The only one that really actually did really well, of course,
Ethereum.
Litecoin.
Oh, Litecoin.
Well, Litecoin and Ethereum.
Oh, because you were probably buying multiple Litecoins each week.
So I had at one time, before I sold off to buy more hardware, I originally profited off of that jump from when Litecoin was like $30-$40, and it jumped up to like 300.
Yeah.
I sold a lot of my Litecoin off. I held some of it, of course, because fear of missing out. Oh, it's gonna keep going. It'll never stop. Yeah. But I still, to this day, have a $10 buy of each of them every single week. So
that's smart.
Out of them, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm buying $120 a month of crypto, and I don't even notice it come out of my bank account.
That's cool. I like that strategy.
If it goes down, oh well, it just is what it is. But as for like crypto, I get off track easy when we get talking about any kind of coins. Do you plan on building any dedicated mining rigs? I know you said you do the hybrid kind of.
Yeah, I had planned on it. Like right now, I just don't have enough money to like just go aside and set that into it right now. So I was talking about maybe going in halves with a friend and putting like a 6-card rig. But at that time, like this was maybe a month ago, or maybe a few weeks ago, we just couldn't find anything, and everyone was trying to build a rig at that time. So at this point, no. I think I'm definitely going to keep mining with what I have, maybe add another card gradually. But yeah, so I mean, with the prices so low, like it's kind of hard to be as like enthusiastic about it. Like when everyone's just making it rain. I mean, it went up. Bitcoin went up from like 12,000 to like 17,000 in one day. And I remember I bought like $100 at like 16,900 because I'm like, it could go to like 30,000 right now, like. But no, I think in the long run it's gonna rebound. It's done this so many times before. It could go down to 1,000, but then it could go up and surpass previous highs. I think it will. My goal is to have like 5,000 in crypto at the end of the year. So right now I'm making around, like 100 to 200. It's hard to tell because it varies so much a month just off mining. So with that saving up, that should be a good amount. But if Bitcoin maintains, I'll probably have to add some of my own fiat, either in terms of investing it into crypto or into more cards to then build up the passive income. So
definitely. And I'm not sure about where you live in your area, but is it actually crypto friendly? Because I'm in North Carolina, and there's there's 2 Bitcoin ATMs that are maybe an hour from me, but there's literally like nobody that accepts it in my area for like any kind of service or anything.
Yeah. So I don't know of too many like places I can go buy Bitcoin, like shops, but being in California, Southern California, there's, you know, a lot of technology, especially like up in the Bay Area. I know there's probably a lot more. I don't know, what could I say?
Well, I guess the question I was trying to lead up to is, have you actually used Bitcoin to buy anything?
Um, no, I mean, like in a roundabout way, I used it to buy my GPU, right? Like I had value in crypto. All I did was exchange it for USD, then to buy it on Amazon. If Amazon accepted crypto directly, obviously I would have just bought it using those funds right then and there. So I think it's only a matter of time. I don't.
It definitely is. I was just wondering because the only thing I've managed to buy with crypto is through Newegg.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't exactly what I would call as a smooth service.
Okay.
It's actually a little scary because there's kind of like a transition time where, you know, it's kind of like lost in the blockchain. Well, not really. It's just transferring. But Bitcoin transfers so slowly.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like hanging in limbo, waiting for confirmation.
Yeah,
I was just curious.
I think paying with Bitcoin is probably not gonna become mainstream. Like I said, I think Bitcoin will be mostly a longer term store of wealth. Kind of like the dollar standard of crypto, you know. Like Ethereum, I was sending some from Coinbase to Binance, and it's pretty cool because like it starts telling you how many confirmations on the network saw that transaction, and then, you know, like once it hits a certain number after like 10 minutes or something, it's confirmed, and you know, and it's inexpensive compared to like the Bitcoin transactions we're getting up to like $40-$50, which is, you know,
yeah, it was getting
ridiculous.
Insane. Well, since you said you're actually a Binance user, I also use Binance. Did you get a little scared or feel uneasy when they just recently went basically offline and online for, I don't know, it was a couple, almost 3 or 4 days in a row.
Oh gosh, I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah. That actually just happened, and they just actually went back online. And now, if you're in the U.S., there's actually a new domain that they want you to access through, and I believe it's us.binance.com. I believe how it goes. I'm not 100% sure. I just logged back into my Binance. It was yesterday or the day before, but yeah, Binance was down for a while, almost 4 days. A lot of people were, you know, of course, spreading some rumors that they're hacked or this or that.
Like if it's a Ponzi or something.
Yeah, of course. They, you know, after the big BitConnect fall, everybody's super worried about everything.
Speaking of BitConnect, this reminds me.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to log into Binance right now, but remember that time I said that I posted a video that had like no audio, and you actually commented on it. You're like, "Oh, there's no audio."
Yeah.
That video I did was a parody of this company that like emailed me called BrandonCoin, and apparently like they were having an ICO. It might have just been a complete scam altogether. Like once I signed up for the account, like they try to use my password to log into like Coinbase or other accounts, but it's the same kind of concept, but they just like put a different spin on it. Like instead of saying like earn 1% daily, they're like earn up to 45% monthly through lending of coin. You know, buy low, sell high. It was just a total scam. They're like, oh, and you can earn up to 2,000 Lendex coins for promoting our video on your YouTube channel. Like do at least 3 or 4 videos, and I'm like, this is just such a scam, you know, like, and that's why I posted I was posting a video like being funny about the fact like, oh, Lendex coin, it could make you a millionaire, you know, like.
I've actually I have gotten a lot of those like scammy ICO emails to my BrandonCoin like official email, and it is by far like they want you to push their scam, so to speak. And I've only entered in. Have you entered into any of the high yips or high yield, kind of like BitConnect or?
Oh no, no.
No.
If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. You know, I mean.
Yeah, in the beginning, before I did any mining, of course I jumped into a couple of those, And you know, the worst part about it is I actually made a little bit of money, so then it made me feel more confident.
Uh-huh.
And then I dump a little bit more into it. Luckily, I only lost, you know, maybe a couple $100, but I joined on to uh, one called Bit Petite. That was one, you know,
Bit
months
petite.
back. Yeah, and that was kind of like following along the whole BitConnect thing. But now, you know, any lending or percentage payouts, or even like a lot of these cloud mining services, they're not even any mining going on. It's just, you know, there's no back end. It's just a Ponzi all up front. And so I tell people, they ask me all the time, you know, do you recommend this? Do you think it's okay? There's a lot like Genesis mining. A lot of people were, you know, like up in the air. Is it? Do they actually have any machines in the background? And you know, I'm not going to comment if they do or if they don't. It's just that's why I always refer back to, you know, actually mining yourself. You can control it. You can see it. You can see if it's working, if it's not.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually do it. Not everybody has that availability, but in the days right now, this is still the wild west for crypto.
Yeah.
It can all be gone in a minute. Like it can be insane with how fast you can make it or lose it.
One thing that this is just speculation though, but one thing that I heard is at the same time NiceHash went offline, Genesis kind of went offline at the same time too, which kind of indicated that NiceHash was like Genesis was acting as a buyer of NiceHash's service to fulfill mining
Uh,
contracts. What are your thoughts on that? Did you hear
I
anything
have,
about that?
yeah, I have not even heard about that. Of course, there was a lot of speculation and like rumors going around when NiceHash went down, but I know a lot of people have actually tried to go to Genesis, and apparently now they have video of their actual systems running. But some people are doing rough calculations and saying like there's no way that you can pack enough systems
For what they're
inside of the
saying,
square,
yeah.
yeah, inside of the square footage of area that they're renting. Like people
Yeah.
like Google
No,
mapped it.
I think it's totally cool if they're actually supplementing. I think maybe what they have is a hybrid approach. So think of it like any other web service. If you have a big app, you don't have just 100 servers in your garage. Like you no, you go to Amazon Web Services, you spin up a few VMs. If it's not enough, you spin up a few more. So it's more scalable, right? So like I think it's actually it could be a good part of the ecosystem if they are using NiceHash. It would be nice to know if they're more transparent about that. Because you know, NiceHash you order in large amounts like by a day, whereas Genesis it's like more spread out over the years. So they are kind of doing you a service in that regards of managing it. But do you have any specific comments on Hashflare?
The Hashflare, I've gotten a lot of people wanting me to enter into it to do like a review on it.
Uh-huh.
I have not even touched it yet.
Yeah.
I don't know if it works or doesn't work or
Have you
'cause
seen the YouTube channel This Is Mining?
I have, yes, I've watched some of his stuff before.
His stuff is pretty good. He's also growing pretty fast, and he started the Nice Hash challenge, and I think it was something ridiculous. Like he was already 50% paid back after like 2 weeks, but then the price had gone up. So, and he is saying that it's like just from the mining, like not anything from affiliate payouts, which I'm sure he's probably getting a decent amount of. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Like you said, it's nicer to actually see what you got, and at the end of the day, if it all goes to shit, you at least have something that you can use to game on or sell to someone else to game on, as opposed to just numbers.
Yeah, I actually get that comment or that question a lot. Like, what are you gonna do when all this stuff crashes? And my funny like quick response is, man, I want to build gaming computers for all my friends. Like, we're gonna be able to play whatever we want.
Have a huge LAN
Um,
center.
yeah, yeah, we're gonna set up a big old LAN party. In reality, of course, I try to sell off a majority of them, keep the cards that I like. I don't know about you, but I like to be very hands on. So I actually enjoy putting together some of these systems. Some of them are very basic, and of course, as time goes on, you learn and you can uh, hone your skills. Is one way to put it, but there's nothing quite like touching and feeling and feeling, seeing the heat come off of them,
Yeah, yeah.
having them crash, having to actually deal with them. uh, dealing with the problems is half the fun. So, because when it's successful and running, and it's like, man, it just ran for like 24 hours, no
Hmm.
issues. That's a nice feeling, especially when you've been having problem after problem. And that's another kind of show that I want to get into, or series, is like common mining problems. Because I've noticed there's a lot of people that have like, I have the fix for this or the fix for that, but it'd be nice to find like one playlist that I could just go through and just kind of watch. And that's actually one thing I wanted to ask you about on your YouTube channel. I know because it's so diverse. Have you been thought about a way to actually playlist everything out to keep it separated? Because I've noticed you've done some reviews and a little bit of
Yeah.
crypto stuff. Is that how you plan on
Yeah,
just
right now I'm
putting
just
everything?
organizing it by playlist, and yeah, and I don't know, I'm probably shooting myself in the foot by not create. I've had people recommend like create an Airbnb channel, create a crypto channel, but it's just like my time is so limited. I don't like, then that's more Facebook accounts and Twitter accounts. Like I just want to be me and just do whatever it is that I'm interested in. If tomorrow it's like underwater basket weaving, then you can get bet I'll be doing videos of underwater basket weaving. Like why do I want to like just pigeonhole myself into something that I may not be interested in a few years? And if my channel's growth like suffers because of it, like that's okay. That's just what I'm gonna accept. But I think if the right person identifies with me as a person, and I can create interesting content about my experience about A or B, then they'll be interested. And if they're just interested in A or just interested in B, then they can just watch those videos. And then
Yeah,
maybe they're
yeah.
not even a subscriber, but maybe they'll just watch those videos, or maybe there'd be a way to like subscribe to a specific playlist or something. I don't know.
Yeah, almost now, like nowadays, to get any kind of measurable success on YouTube, you have to almost fill a void, or make a personality, make a personal brand. On mine, I actually was shooting for the complete opposite of what you're doing. I just wanted quick, fast data, raw, like unscripted. Just it is what it is, and it's almost turned into a brand now. And now I'm trying to like go into those avenues that you're talking about with the Facebook and the Instagram, and
Hmm.
getting a website set up for it. That's why I was just wondering, like, are you planning on still keeping it all one channel and just playlisting it out, or separating it up? So it's nice to hear your take on it too. Yeah, kind of
Yeah,
like I wish I would have started out the way you were now, because maybe I could have my car channel and my crypto
yeah.
channel
No,
all
I
together.
think you're doing all right by having it separate. Like I said, I'm probably doing it the wrong way, but I've just never been afraid to do something the wrong way. Like in
Well, there's
some
no, it's the
regards,
internet. There's
if
no wrong way.
if they're
So
telling you that you're doing something wrong, then you're doing something right. So, I think both ways are valid, like you said.
yeah, yeah, and just to be able to, for content ways, having it not split up, I can see a huge advantage, because you don't pigeonhole yourself. And currently, right now, like if I don't have anything that actually relates to crypto, I can't put it on my crypto channel, just because I've built it up and I've set people
Yeah,
up to
people have
only
come to
expect that.
expect that. Yeah,
And on my car channel, I can only put car content on there because it's concrete. It's
you
a
need to
car
create
channel.
a car that has like graphics cards under the hood or something, and just have a
Yeah,
hybrid.
I do have some viewers that have transferred over, and they're like, how many, what kind of mega hash are you getting out of that car right there? And I'm like, it's, yeah, okay. And or they'll be like, how much horsepower is on that graphics card on my other channel? So it's nice to see some people are like transcending back and forth. But it's I do other things too, so it would be nice to. I'm actually really curious to see how your channel grows, when you put more, like more time into it. Right now,
Yeah.
obviously, I watched a lot of your Airbnb stuff, and that really kind of excited me. But in my area, it doesn't make any kind of sense, because there's no tourism or traffic, and
Uh,
it's away from any main roads. That's one thing I did want to ask you about. Some of my crypto viewers may be interested in it also. Is can you give them a rough, quick rundown of what Airbnb is?
okay, so Airbnb, like you said it perfectly. It's like mining for your house. So,
Yeah,
it's just sitting there hashing away, and I all
yeah,
I do is I started out renting a spare bedroom in my house. It was the guest room. Full disclosure, my fiance was out on maternity leave, and so we lost that income, and so I'm like, hey, let's just start renting this room out. I rent a 4-bedroom house in California, so the rent is pretty damn high. It's like $2,100 a month. And I'm still young. I'm still starting out. Like I have a job and all that, but like that was kind of a lot of my paycheck. So I'm like, let me just start renting out to subsidize. And that just kind of slowly grew. Became more successful. I started like in 2015. No, late 2016, and did it all last year. And then like middle of last year, I purchased like my first home, like a condo, just to do Airbnb in, and I've been Airbnb-ing that. So like it helped not only bridge the gap of like replacing lost income, but like even grew to where we were saving more, and it was successful enough to actually buy a home. It's just a small 2-bedroom starter condo, but that ran like $350. So I borrowed a little bit of money from my Roth IRA. I've been investing in that since I was like 18. So I was able to just pull out the principal without any penalty or without having to pay it back. And just I wanted to diversify some of my 401k into like real estate. So that's been doing good. I talk about that a lot on my channel. I don't know, I kind of like the idea of passive income, and I like traveling. I like talking to people like I'm talking to you now. So like it kind of just identifies well with me. But yeah, I think you'd be surprised. You get maybe people like there's definitely a need, and especially that it's growing. It's a good business to get into.
Yeah. So I didn't realize it when I was watching your videos. So like I've seen your spare bedroom, but you have the condo also, and I thought those were actually like in your house, other rooms.
No.
So you got 2 rigs right now, essentially.
Yeah, I got 2 rigs. Yeah.
So just curious, because I'm actually, I don't think there's anybody near me that does Airbnb. How did you find out about that? And like what made you pull the trigger on it to let people like come into your house and stay?
So I had known about it for a long time, and I'd always been interested in it. And I had actually created the account and kind of went through the process of what listing would look like, and kind of went through it, but never actually went live with the listing like a full year before I actually even started. So like in hindsight, I probably should have just started and just went with it, right? Even if it was imperfect. But eventually what got me to do it was my mom was traveling for work, and she was staying at my house while she was here for business, and so her company was reimbursing me for saving them money. So they would save some money over a hotel, and I would make some money to help out. And I thought it'd be more professional to actually do it through Airbnb, so there's an invoice and everything's legit. So I did that, and the listing was live. And then I got a request from a random girl, and I had to like completely talk my fiance, she was my girlfriend at the time, into it. And it was a girl. She was just gonna be here for the weekend, so we're like, hey, let's just do it. It's $50 a night. I don't quite charge that much now, but like there was a conference in town, so there was a lot of demand, and no hotels were open. It was her first time at Airbnb. It was our first time hosting someone random. So, but once we got over it, then it became second nature. And I mean, we've hosted over like 100 people in the last year, and it's done really well. So.
Yeah, that actually bringing up your spouse leads me into probably one of my last questions. But so she got over the Airbnb. Once somebody starts seeing money come back in, it's a lot easier to get over things.
Yeah.
My girlfriend, she's been living with me for over a year now, and we have a small house, and she's starting to see a lot more of these things show up around the house. And she hasn't been able to see the gains yet because I'm reinvesting everything back into it. Have you told your spouse that you're mining a little bit?
Yeah.
So electricity
okay, that's a good point. We did talk about that. She hasn't really noticed it yet because I'm only really pushing two cards, so the wattage is not that high. Um, my power bill starts at 16 cents per kilowatt hour. Once I reach a certain number of usage, it jumps up to 24 cents in tier 2, and then like 26, or it gets up to like 30 cents a kilowatt hour. Like I said, it just starts at 16. So
Wow. Okay.
in the winter, I'm like in that base tier, but in the summer, that electricity of the air conditioning is gonna put me probably. I mean, plus I have 4-bedroom house, 2-story. I'm doing Airbnb, so like they're using power. I game. I don't game as much as I did, but like right now my computer's on, so it's a lot of usage. And if I get into that second tier, it's probably going to be more profitable to just turn off mining. I'll have to do the calculations to see if there's any room for profit. I'll leave it on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if I'm in that second tier, it doesn't really matter if I use that at the beginning of the month and then the air conditioning push it over at the end. Anywhere I can save, it's going to actually shave off, out of that higher tier. So, but yeah, she totally sees it as like fake money. She's like, it's just, she doesn't really get it. Like I bought her like $100 of crypto. I set her up with a Coinbase account. So like she has some, and she's like, no, like don't spend it or sell it or anything. But like, and she always giving me crap now. She's like, you bought a $300 graphics card. I'm like, I bought it with crypto. Like it didn't affect us. And even I sold it, and then it came back. So like, I put some money back into the checking account. So, but I don't know. She just likes giving me a hard time. Yeah, but I can totally see she must love you, because look at all those rigs, man.
Yeah, well, she deals with them. Right now I'm in the room that's it's a spare bedroom, but we moved the bed upstairs for a little while, and this turned into like my little office man cave. There's a couch behind me, and then there's a TV up on the wall in front of me, and it was just kind of like video games, and this is where I would make my card channel videos, and then it kind of just turned into like these things started popping up, but it got too hot in here when I was actually running all of them. So right now with both of these, I have a fan blowing on me, and the AC in the house is running, and my door is wide open. It's like mid 60 degrees Fahrenheit outside, but in this room it feels like 80 maybe. Like it is hot. I don't know about on your side of the world over there, other side of US, but trying to keep these things running is going to be a nightmare in the summertime. Yeah. That's why I got to get them out of here.
Yeah, that'll be really nice to have your office set up. I don't know about over there, but over here, industrial rates are actually much more affordable. They're more in line with the rest of the country, like 12 cents for industry rates, and you can use as much practically as you want. They really just... So Southern California Edison, I mean, it's just a monopoly, like what are you going to do?
Yeah, actually, it's even less than that. My home rate is 9 cents per kilowatt, and there's no tiers. It's just use as much as you want.
Wow.
But the office I'm going to is going to be in the range of, it's 5.9 cents per kilowatt, so about 6 cents. Yeah, and that's actually a big reason why I'm switching, because the more I'm using, the more I'm consuming in power will make up for the actual rent, and I'll have my own, I want to set it up to be professional, and you get out what you put in kind of thing. So I definitely want to push it as hard as I can within reason. But the biggest reason I got to get these out of my house is because of the heat.
Yeah.
My girlfriend did see the recent electricity bill, which I was pushing the cards a little hard, so I had the power turned up on them. I had the overclocks a little heavy, just because I was trying to get some good rates out of them. I've since dialed them back a little bit.
What's your electricity bill?
The last one we just got was $400.
Holy shit!
I don't know about for you, but that's pretty high for us. Normally, my electricity bill floats around $200 because I have electric heat. I don't have gas heat.
Okay, see, I don't run the heater in California, but my electricity bill in the winter, it's around 100, 125 maybe, and then in the summer, like with AC and gaming, it can go as high as like 350. But like for 100, like if it's 100 plus degrees like almost every day, like 350 is not that bad.
Wow, yeah.
But like that's without mining. So like I'm probably gonna have to turn off my rig because it's just really expensive here.
Yeah, I've figured it out, and on average, you know, the 1060s that should add up to about an extra $40 to $50 a month. The 1050s are about an extra, you know, 20 to 30.
Hmm.
So everything I have in total, I'm cutting at about anywhere from 100 to 150,
Yeah.
and I just like to keep my
So
just know that. So that's why you know, my electricity's high, and also on this side of the U.S., we just went through a very cold winter. I don't know. You said you don't have to use heat very much, but over here, normally in North Carolina, we our temperatures stabilize and stay in, like, you know, the 30s to 40s range. We don't have to winterize anything normally,
uh
but I'm so glad I winterized my boat this year, because, you know, there was almost a solid week that was under freezing the whole week. We actually set a record for North Carolina this year,
oh
because it
wow.
was like in the teens for days, and we're not. I mean, even here, we're not used to that.
Yeah. But so
So,
you are getting
like,
some of that money back in terms of the rigs are heating your house, but now it's
of
gonna get
course, yeah,
hot.
yeah. So I haven't. They haven't been a nuisance up until a couple days ago when it started to warm back up. It's If it's 60 degrees outside, and I'm not running AC, it's easily 70s inside. So it's getting hard to regulate it. And I bought an older house, so it's got an older AC unit, and it already has a hard enough time without any mining. Because last year I didn't mine any, and AC, you know, it pumps along pretty much all day long
Uh
every day.
yeah.
So I that's why I gotta get these things out of here. But
You know what they need to make is like a air conditioning compressor that is a GPU, so you can mine in the
yeah,
summer
yeah,
while keeping your house cold, and mine in the winter while keeping your house warm.
yeah. I cannot remember the name of the YouTuber, but I looked at his setup, and he has a basement downstairs, and he has some ducting coming off of his AC and his heat unit. It's all together. It's a full electric unit, and it goes through this duct and goes into this uh, closet, and he has all his GPUs in this closet, and then he's got his return coming from the closet going to the house. So in the summertime, he has straight AC blowing straight into that room before it goes anywhere else. So he can still, you know, normalize some of the uh, like the AC on the rigs before it goes anywhere else.
Okay.
He said it actually makes it still cold in the house, but in the wintertime is where he gains the huge benefit of
Having
just
the
turning the
heat.
blower on
Yeah.
and blowing the air through and
Oh,
getting
that's
all that
nice.
heat off of the cards straight to his house. Because, like, right now, you know, there for a while, I moved one of my rigs into the kitchen to help equalize some of the heat in the
Yeah.
house,
Yeah.
like the displacement. Because, like, in the back of the house it was super warm, in the front of the house it was like really cold, and of course my thermostat was picking up the back side of the house. So my thermostat, I'd have to like turn my temperature up to, like, oh, I want it to be 75 in here when I really only want it to be 70, just to help it equalize. But you know, that's minor problems. So literally minor. You know? um, uh, so I'm just gonna keep the ball rolling. And a lot of
Cool.
people have commented. I don't know if you get this or not, but they want me to have a more like professional background. And I've actually looked into like the, you know, big cardboard boxes where you can slide it over and just paint it and make yourself a DIY green screen. Have you
Yeah.
thought about doing anything like that?
I've thought about it. For your channel, I don't think it really makes a huge difference. Especially once you get your office, you'll probably have your own room set up with like the rigs in the background. That will definitely give it a much more professional appeal. For me, like a lot of my videos, I'm just like kind of like yours, right? It's just in the corner, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, you're featuring or showing something else.
yeah. You know, I'm in my garage, so it's not as it could be better. You know, like my garage kind of gets filled with stuff from time to time, but I was filming in the desk in my bedroom with the bedroom as the backdrop, which was kind of nice, but then I had to like make sure it was all clean and stuff, and then fiance was kind of getting mad, like us showing our bedroom, you know, like she's kind of very personal, and I'm like kind of very open about everything, which is kind of hard to do, but you know,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
nice, you know, because then I don't have to worry about like if she wants to go to bed and I'm trying to film, you know. It just makes it easier for me to produce content, you know, by not giving a fuck
exactly.
what the background looks like, at least for right now. And if I get to a point where I want a green screen and make it more professional, then I will. But why stop that in the meantime?
Oh, of course, yeah. My significant other, she'll be on the couch in the background, and she's like, try to keep it to where your chair blocks me. She doesn't mind being in a video, but she doesn't want to be like
in the video.
Yeah, like just like doing whatever and get caught in there. So I understand where yours is coming from. Mine's also the same way. She's like, if you're gonna record anything, record it in your room because it's always a mess.
Have you tried to get her into mining? Or into crypto?
She wants nothing to do with it. She's like, if it makes money, I like it, but otherwise, I support you from a distance, kind of like that kind of.
Because I was gonna say that'd be pretty interesting content to like watch you make a customized girl rig,
Yeah. I was really trying to get her to. I think I might have her talked into me making a video with her showing how to build a system, and I want to set up a system and explain it to someone that's never done it before, which is perfect because she's never done it before.
Yeah.
She knows nothing about it. So I want that kind of video up because I haven't really encountered anything like that. Everybody assumes you have some basic level of computer knowledge, and so I want to give dummies guide to assembling a mining rig, so to speak, because that's one thing I imagine there's a lot of people out there that they're not comfortable with just slapping a motherboard down and plugging some stuff in, because it looks intimidating. It looks very intimidating, but it's not at all. It's just it's Legos.
Yeah, if you did that, I'd watch it. So speaking of significant others, I probably should get going here pretty soon. I know you probably got work super early. Thanks for staying up so late and making this happen.
Yeah, that's no problem. And we could probably do this again and also maybe incorporate some more people. So if anybody has any suggestions on my channel, please drop it down in the comments. And don't forget to go out to Zack's channel. I will leave his link in my description because there was a full 30 or 45 minutes in the beginning that was just straight content for his channel. So y'all will definitely be interested in that. But I think we're going to end it off right here. Thank you, Zack. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Brandon. You're the man. I appreciate it. It was fun.
No problem. I'm actually going to stop mine right now. So I'm off.
Right on. Let me know when it goes live, and I will have to check it out and share it.
Yeah, this one is going to be a little bit longer, so I don't know how long it's going to take to process.
Okay.
Actually, it won't take long at all because I just realized I recorded it in 720, which, oh well, is what it is. So it'll actually upload really fast.
Okay. Yeah, we started. Your camera's starting to lag out. I don't know if that's your computer heating up or.
It's probably my processor on this computer because this is it's an AMD A8 processor if you're familiar with them.
Okay.
It's the older APUs, and I stuck the 1060 in here to try to help that, but I'm bottlenecked.
Yeah, so it's encoding all the CPU.
Yeah, this processor gets hot, and then it starts thermal throttling. So it's definitely probably getting there because I can see my face lagging out a little bit. But thank you again, and I'll send you a text, and I appreciate it.
All right, talk to you later, Brandon. Peace.
Later.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. My webcam's not available for the stream because it's hooked up to Google still, but thank you guys again. Make sure to like and get subscribed. Go check out the video that we just posted on Brandon's Coins channel. Thanks again, guys. We're almost at 400 subscribers, so hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to get notified when I go live again, and we'll catch you guys in the next video or the next podcast. Thanks again, guys. Peace.